Let's call the August 3rd joint water board meeting to order. It's 3:30 PM. We have on our agenda today from 3:30 to 4:30 is the IMA workshop. We have public participation at 4:30, where we roll into our original meeting. And the rest of our agenda reads as we have approval for the June 1st, 2026 minutes. Plant status report, presentation of the draft 2027 operating budget, old business, engineering update, TSST tank, filter project, comprehensive facility plan, draft IMA review, followed by new business will be legal service contract renewal, engineering service contract renewal, and Village of Wappender's request to purchase water. So I guess we can start with continue with our IMA workshop from July, June.
As far as, do we want to just start from 4-1 kind of in the meat and potatoes? I know that's where we started initially, but not everyone is at the meeting, so maybe it makes sense just to, and then we've got our drafters here to assist as well, so I think that'll, certainly be important.
Oh, page 7?
Yeah, starts on, it looks like page 7 or 8.
Seven's responsibilities and duties of the joint board. Where's the board open?
That'll be in the definition section. We've got definitions in section 2. Yeah, so it basically adds in a definition for capacity generally, and then also for approved capacity.
Oh, okay. So where did all those to be determined after duties and responsibilities are completed in the brief? Is there a list of words on page 7 that, are we just adding them as we need to? Like, we don't have this list somewhere else.
Page 7.
Yeah, the definitions on page 7. See how they're blank? Are we just gonna add them in as we need to?
Do you have the most recent?
I don't think that's.
Maybe not, maybe not.
Yeah, that's because we sent around
Oh,
back in early March, there was an updated copy that included definitions.
Sorry.
Yeah, because initially we left it blank and then we backfilled.
Yes, but
I know I have.
I'll leave it here. Okay,
Let me have one too, for some reason,
what this?
Yeah, maybe it's something, yeah.
the papers and
Yeah, it doesn't have definitions either.
Okay. No.
Oh, it's okay.
I'll get it later. Yeah, I get it. I'll read it right now. I did send it out.
Yeah, I'm just trying to go through my binder just to make sure I had to update it when I was only working on that from there.
I really like the composition of the joint board. Because that means a lot more to have somebody who's an elected official. And the second person to be familiar somewhat with the water system. Maybe it doesn't have to be Tommy, but could be somebody who is in the water department. And then another one who is understanding the fiscal management.
Yeah.
So somebody on the finance committee or Minnell or,
Someone who's involved with all the money, yeah.
right,
That way, they know, each entity's situation coming in. So that way, you don't have a lag in finding out information or being,
yeah, it's been invaluable to have you here and say, well, that line is connected over here and we can easily turn this valve. And
I think it's good for process too, just having finance, someone with knowledge of the system, and then I think that'll, ensure things get passed along, go to who they need to,
Right.
and just kind of, as far as having a process for the town
Sure.
and city, it'll.
how many times have we been hung up and like, wait, where, where does that resolution go and who's gonna sign that thing and it's gonna be much better.
So we'll get that plugged in, at 417. As far as section 4.1, which is responsibilities and duties of the joint board, did anyone have any questions or concerns, coming into that section or?
No. I didn't. So we made it to 5. Hey, good afternoon. How are you? All right. Not too bad. Blue party. 3:30 party. Yeah.
As far as duties and powers in section 4.2, I don't know if there was any thoughts or concerns on any of those items. Or would it be easier just to run through that?
Yeah, I think we were reading them out loud last time.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think we got to 4.25 is where my notes stopped. So, we can start again at 4.2 and just work our way down.
Yeah,
Start.
I think that makes sense.
The joint board shall have the following powers and duties, and the city and town delegates such powers and duties to the joint board. To meet as necessary, but at least once a month, the meeting shall not conflict with regular scheduled meeting of the common council or the city or town board of the town. To annually review and revise, if necessary, bylaws that will facilitate the satisfaction of all joint board responsibilities. Sorry, that was 4.2.2. 4.2.3, review proposed annual budget prepared by the water plant administrator and to make recommendations to the city and town in regard thereto. 4.2.4, to determine the need for capital projects, to review proposed capital expenditures not included in the annual budget, and to make recommendations to the city and town in regard to thereto. Everybody on point so far?
Do you guys think there's anything worth discussing on that? I feel like we spent a lot of time going back and forth just on difference between budget versus other capital improvements. I don't know.
As far as the joint board responsibilities itself, I think what the attempt was made to make the board an advisory, but not specific like that in the original document, but in reality, city and town have a responsibility. So the board is advisory. So you include, we've changed a lot of things like shall and will to will recommend, review,
Facilitate.
facilitate, yes. That kind of thing. That was the main thrust of it. Going back to the amendment, if I can, Douglas, I like the idea of putting some kind of training in there for a joint board member. It's such a unique project, it's hard to find formal training anywhere statewide. But I think at least a tour of the plant, tour of the city and town distribution system, if possible, see where the interconnection points to the fire ward and the county are, and that kind of thing. It could be as simple as that.
Yes, sir.
It's got, it is a good idea to have somebody on. I agree wholeheartedly.
We did that.
Somebody on here.
We did that, but it's not formally written down. I mean, I just wanted to do
It
it.
could be in the bylaws too. It could be in the bylaws.
That might be a good spot to put it. Yeah, just like a,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't disagree with the intent, but I think that it belongs in bylaws, not by.
yeah, definitely. And that's once we hash out the IMA and we've got a
Yeah.
general agreement here, then it needs to go to town and city for approval. But I think once we have that done, we turn to the bylaws because now we'll have the operative document that controls the rules and then
How
we
the
can,
board's gonna run.
yeah,
That's
so
what that would be.
kind of give us a step-by-step way to work through it.
Okay, 4.2.5, review and appointment of all the capital costs to each party, including their third-party purchasers.
Well, this just came up when Wappingers contacted us.
That's why I was rereading it in my head.
Yeah, so, what happened is Wappingers just wanted a informal conversation first. They didn't want to get right onto the board minutes. So we had just a couple people able to meet with them and basically to find out what they were looking for, I think, to understand what they wanted to know. They're just trying to gathering data. I felt really out of the know. I wouldn't be able to know what the rates were. I didn't know how much water we can give them. So I was glad that Tommy was there and Dottie was there. But that confuses me because who reviews the apportionment of the capital costs for third-party purchases? Like,
That's somebody that buffs the board. I mean, cause we, with Dottie. right?
We
Yeah,
do it?
water board.
Yeah, it'd be
Yeah,
part
'cause
of.
I guess that's part of what Dottie has for our regular meeting today,
okay,
what the cost would be
Okay.
and stuff like that, you know.
so you've got access to the data, you've got some access to the flow or
Yeah.
capacity.
Yeah, which we know what our capacity for both
Okay.
the city and the town
So
is.
once you guys come
So
together with the information,
She has all that stuff already, so,
all right,
And that's kind of the difference between the 50-50 split versus the 48.
48-53.
53, whatever it is, and then the actual capacity difference.
And then you have the transmission involved in that too.
Yeah, so it's a lot of
So all
different.
that goes in the Dottie's figure that she sent out earlier today,
Yeah.
so. So we're good with that one. 4.2.6, to review the water plant. To review the water plant administrator's 5-year water use projection and 5-year capital improvement plan annually. And to make recommendations to the parties as regarded thereto.
So we're doing the study now. We plan on doing that every 5 years. It's a ton of money.
Yeah, I think
Ton of money
this
and a
would-
ton of time.
Yeah, I think this would be more of just the actual plant and Dottie's calculations and expectations.
Yeah.
So I mean, in some regard, it's kind of perspective, and I think it's more of a, a hope that you can
Yeah, well,
gain
what
that
the-
out as.
The study that we're doing is more of to see if the plant's gonna need rehab and all that stuff, where this here speaks about just your normal 5-year plan on where your projection of going is.
sorry.
We already do provide the capital plan, which includes our capital improvements. And we do provide that in.
So it's more like a historical data search, looking at 5 years back and extrapolating 5 years out.
So I think the way I'm seeing this is that the board is going to hear my plans, is going to make sure that that's part of their responsibility, knowing that they're supposed to hear it. So it's, I think something that
Yeah,
they should come in.
and a way to look at
It
it.
was actually there were parts of this in the old IMA. And but it wasn't made an explicit separate requirement. So we're actually sort of breaking it out. Normally it would have been part of the budget process. But we wanted to emphasize the capital aspects of this. So the idea here was, as part of just the normal sitting down and looking at the next year, we also look 4 more years and at some point we're going to need to rebuild these pumps. This has got to be changed out. And actually, I think you've already started. I saw a 5-year plan which had exactly those sorts of things on it. You got to replace this filter. At some point, the roof has got to be done. That sort of thing.
The capital plan is much easier than the 5-year water projection use, because that's where, like, I'm not gonna know as the water plant administrator what that usage is gonna be. We can monitor trends, but without doing big studies.
It's all based on demand.
Yeah, and that's where I was gonna say capital improvement, you might have a pump when you buy it, it says it's got a 20-year life. You're 19, let's say, but you know it can extend out. So you might say in 3 years, we need to replace this. So it'd almost be like a wish list like that, just laying it out so you ensure the money's there. As far as the water use projection, it's definitely a more difficult calculation. I would be looking at trends, as far as population growth or shrinking, which, I mean, per the initial review we had, it looks like a substantial.
Yeah, but we've
increase.
done,
So,
we've done them every so
Yeah.
many years though. So it's kind of like, because CPL did the last one. And then and then there was one prior to that, like 5-6 years prior to that. So that gets done every 5-6 years so that you're getting that, not the scale the comprehensive studies on, but like a smaller scale, just focused on the water, not the plant production, the everything on the plant. So we are doing that.
so I think that probably makes sense because you can then, as a board and reviewing it, say things have changed in the last 2 years.
Right.
Let's take another look, or you can say nothing's changed, we're still good, let's discuss again next year. It's almost just a box to check to make sure if something weird happens, you can track and, see what growth is coming. Kind of like post 9/11, this area got a lot of new folks moving in during COVID, something like that, where you can really track that you're going to grow.
4.2.7, to review annually and or recommend any professional or other contracted services necessary to execute its functions.
There would be engineers, lawyers, right? We do that already.
Engineers, lawyers, automation.
Software, maybe, I don't know if that goes, yeah, like contracts for software and,
Whatever the board size needed, that's.
Yeah.
yeah, we do that.
4.2.8, to review and make recommendations on purchases for the contracts on behalf of joint projects within appropriations made, subject to provisions of law applicable to municipal corporations. Say that 10 times fast.
That's similar to numbers 0.7 is, yeah, I don't see any problem with these. I like it's delineated at like, oh, we do these things. It's good.
4.2.9, to review monthly the financial record of the receipt and disbursements of funds of the joint project and to review the reports prepared for filing with appropriate agencies of the state of New York pursuant of provision Article 3 of General Municipal Law of the state of New York.
Does everyone review Article 3? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. What's it say? Start at the top.
All of the citations, we double check to make sure they're still relevant from the initial one, and then anything included was double checked, so they're all still applicable. There were a few that had to be changed just because they changed the regulations from time to time.
Yeah.
but-
4.2.10, to assist the.
Do you want me to read?
Oh, I'll put myself to sleep here. To assist the joint project in obtaining any needed regulatory agency approvals required for the initiation and completion of capital improvements. And to cooperate, assist, and consult in any application and or approval process required to be taken to obtain the approval of financial plans to fund either capital projects or operating budget of the joint project. We gotta make the sentences just a little bit shorter.
I'll take over for you if you want me to read.
Sure.
Any discussion on 0.10? Good.
Fine by me.
All right, Ward 211, to assist the city and the town in the negotiations of any proposed agreements with the third parties for the sale of water, to review them and to make recommendations to the city and the town. How is that different for 0.8? 4.2.8 says
Yeah, same thing.
make recommendations. And then 0.11 says to assist with negotiations.
It's the third, 4.2.11 against the third party.
So it's 4.2.
Waters.
Isn't that what 4.28 does too? No, it's just
Oh,
contract.
which is, okay. I
Yeah.
thought there was something else that had third party.
Yeah,
Okay.
there was somewhere, yes.
4.2.5.
0.5, including.
Yeah,
Oh, well, that's different though, because it says to review the apportionment of the capital costs to each party. So that's different. Capital costs are different than negotiations of proposed agreements.
Yeah, there is some overlap, but I think we
Yeah.
opted for clarity and specificity in some cases.
4212, to request the water plant administrator to review any proposed agreements with any third party for the sale of water and to determine and report to the joint board and the parties any potential effect on their respective reserve capacities. I guess it's just more, that's more about capacity instead of cost and negotiations. That's more like, do we have enough to fulfill the contract, right?
Yeah, this could be an important issue if, say, a third party comes in and asks for more than one party could supply. So there would have to be a determination by Dottie that one of the parties could exceed their reserve capacities. And therefore, the city and the town would have to figure out how they would divide up that third party request.
Okay, want me to keep going? 4.213, to recommend and approve by majority vote the appointment of one of the parties to this agreement or a third party agreed to by the city and town to provide administrative services for the daily operation, maintenance, replacement, and upgrading of the joint project. The party so designated shall be known as the business administrator. This appointment shall be reviewed every 5 years by the joint board. The review should be informed by the most recent cost estimates provided by the business administrator. Do we like that?
So it doesn't specifically address the compensation.
Right.
To the,
But it says that we check out who, maybe change it up or
yeah,
change it
change it up,
or keep it the same.
offer it to a third party, if that's possible.
Okay.
Yeah, and that just builds in the ability if one, if the city or town says, we don't want to do this, then you can go out, find a third party and, go through the process. So it gives a little bit of flexibility that I don't think the initial IMA had.
Right. Okay. 14, to seek and recommend hiring, set conditions of employment, and recommend the discharge of the water plant administrator to the city and the town. Is that little preposition to? Should it be from? The discharge from the city and the town? Or giving us the hiring conditions setting? It's giving us that power.
Correct.
That's the two in there. Okay. All right. Any questions? I'm just gonna, I don't want to skip anybody. 4.215, to designate an acting water plant administrator during the water plant administrator's absence or inability to act as such or when the position is vacant. We've done that when Randy's gone on vacation. Have you ever gone on vacation yet?
I have, I tend to take small.
Oh,
days
okay.
there.
Cause I was like, I don't remember
Yeah,
doing that for you.
Randy go away for a couple of weeks and all that.
Oh, okay.
Not that way.
Yeah, yeah. All right, 15, to designate an acting. Wait, did I already read that?
Yes.
I did that.
16.
Sorry, 16, to recommend the approval of virtual or physical attendances at conventions, conferences, and schools, and the payment of travel and or other expenses incurred by any city or town employee, joint water board member, or subcontractor in the conduct of joint project business.
So it kind of ties in with the discussion on the bylaws and the training, a little
Yeah,
bit,
yeah.
not totally, but.
But we also have allowed you to go away for your vacation to the, to, what, you went to Albany,
Water conferences.
Saratoga, okay. Yeah. Number 17, to recommend necessary rules and regulations consistent with this agreement and any collective bargaining agreement for the operation, maintenance, and control of the joint project. Seems really straightforward. I think that should be way up at the top. 18, to stay informed of any state or federal programs for aid and to make recommendations concerning such programs. That's a lot of homework to follow all this because Aaron keeps us straight in how many things we have to sign and.
Yeah, I was just thinking, do we want to just add anything or something to the effect of or with affirmance from consultants or engineers or something to that impact? Because I know that's a big part of what Aaron does is tracking
Yeah.
what grants are out there, what
Yeah.
programs.
Cause that looks like it's all up to us and we're gonna miss stuff.
Junction.
Yeah, let's take recommendation from consultants.
Yeah,
How about to stay informed of any state or federal programs, comma, in conjunction with the board engineer or other consultant,
Mhm.
comma, for aid and to make recommendations concerning such programs.
yes. Everybody like that?
Oh, with consultation instead of conjunction.
Consultation. Do we have to vote on making amendments to this or do we vote at the very end? All
At the very end.
Yeah, this is all just draft.
Informal right there.
Okay. right, good. Number 19, to recommend acceptance by the legislative bodies of the city and town, such gifts, grants, or bequests as may be offered to the joint project. When does that come up?
Some people,
It's come up enough.
This,
Like the grants would be state and federal and county.
sometimes people pass away with no family and they might take interest in certain boards and, leave bequests.
yeah, this is legal talk that was in the original
Okay.
IPM, and I have a,
Many of these were.
and I
Okay.
have a feeling that it was to make sure that the joint board could do this because there either was or is some municipal law about accepting gifts.
Oh,
So if somebody wanted to give us, for example, a plot of land so that we could expand, that might be a problem if they were trying to give it to a municipality because it was all the fair value stuff. But the joint board is not a municipality. So it could accept certain kinds of gifts.
okay. I mean, it's good to have in there. I was just surprised.
Yeah,
Better safe than sorry?
yeah, I think that's kind of what this is.
Yeah, and I think especially if you're looking at it in terms of land, when people gift it, sometimes it's because it's, let's say, right by the plant, it could be useful, and other times they can't sell it, have no use for it, and are sick of paying taxes. So it kind of gives the board a chance to look at it and say, yeah, we don't want or need this, don't accept it, you're just taking land off the tax rolls or whatever it might be. So it gives the board that flexibility to make that recommendation.
So we are not a municipal entity, but majority of the rules and regulation apply for the municipality, but there are some exceptions, that's what you're saying. Like that donate will taking out donation to this entity.
Yeah, so the board isn't a municipality, but it's almost, I would think of it almost like an agency of the state where it's not an agency, but
Governed by it though.
yeah, so it's controlled by the city and
Right.
town. it's not technically a municipal corporation, but the rules do apply, as far as.
The simple example is the, the open meetings and, this is applicable for us. But again, the donation is okay. That's kind of really clear.
We'll probably never get one.
I mean, that's.
Yeah.
No, more often than not, it's the gift you don't want.
Leave it.
It's the thing you don't, you're like, here, take this clunker. You're like, no, we're good.
Yeah.
There you go.
Nice,
Okay.
thank you.
That makes more sense.
Yeah. Yeah, like people always want to do stuff like community service or community day, and it winds up being DPW cleanup
Right,
after everybody.
Right.
And then you just want to say no.
Especially gifts of land, sometimes it's the land that no one wants.
Yep.
And you'll see it in like municipal foreclosures for
Mhm.
interim property taxes. A county might take over the property and they're gonna do an auction and then the county now owns it forever because no one wants it.
Right.
So
I see.
it's.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 19, to recommend acceptance by the legislative, I did that again. Sorry.
20.
20, to oversee the operations of the joint project in compliance with all federal, state, and local rules and regulations. That's of course. 21, within its powers and authorities by regulations and statute, to declare water use emergencies and to issue water use restrictions that will be binding on all parties and third parties during such emergencies. Where such water use emergencies are regulated by another entity or agency, for example, County of Dutchess, Department of Health, etc., the joint board may provide additional notice as deemed appropriate, but is not obligated to. Period.
So I think this is pertinent to the situation last year with the salt front.
Right.
When there's everything coming out from different levels and, it obviously became a discussion of this board. So I think it's helpful just kind of laying out that procedure.
22, to review annually the emergency response plans for water use emergencies, which may include threats to production, distribution infrastructure, and the cyber environment at the joint water plant. To ensure the plant administrator is responsible for providing an annual emergency response plan update, including training events or other emergency response preparations. Does your whole team go to events about cybersecurity or anything like that?
So just recently, the past, just since the beginning of the year at some point, the health department has now required anyone with a water license to get cybersecurity training as part of their renewal process. So that is now an official thing. The city has often supplied us with cybersecurity training as well through various computer programs. So it is something that we are aware of and doing. As far as emergency response plans, we have an emergency response plan. Our staff is aware of it. We discuss it, but as far as reporting it to the board, I don't think we've ever done it. So that was something. The one thing with the emergency response plans is there are parts of it that are confidential. We don't necessarily want everybody to know
Sure.
everything. So we have to come up with a way of figuring out what is important for everybody to know. So that can be a discussion plan for them. Sure. It's definitely something that's a topic right now, cybersecurity.
The EPA also raised the flag after the war started. Did we get a grant for that or not?
No, but we do have, the water plant has their evaluation, unfortunately had to be rescheduled, so that's half or so. But we'll be having an EPA evaluation on it. Cybersecurity and whether or not the effect needs to be.
Who's doing that?
A government contractor would be. So we are scheduled to have our money for our SCADA control system as well as for our office. So
Good. Number 23, to advise the city mayor and the town supervisor that a water use emergency exists and that action may be required to suspend competitive bidding requirements to acquire any materials, equipment, or services required to alleviate the emergency conditions as provided for in section 103 of the general municipal law. That's scary, but really important. And then they can, I guess, take over from there.
And as that relates to, I guess it was 21. So am I correct with understanding that the board's role is to provide in 21 notice as it's deemed appropriate about the issue? And now with 23, who declares the emergency? You do, Dottie? Or does the board do it at your recommendation?
I think it's the board would do an
Okay.
recommendation, which often will come from also.
Right. Okay.
If I can add to that, when we get to the water plant administrator.
Right.
water-
Then we'll see
This
that.
part of this document gives the water plant administrator to act quickly and without consulting with anybody.
Good.
In the event of.
Good.
Yeah, and I think that's yeah, and it's, got the language from the GML, General Municipal Law, because, sometimes I'll have municipal clients that are like, hey, we can bypass competitive bidding on this. It's an emergency. I'm like, that's not an emergency. It's probably one of the few situations where you actually run across legitimate emergencies, so it'd be applicable here.
Okay. 24, to recommend the purchase of land for future expansions, additional treatment processes, process changes, or equipment changes. That's fine. I mean, it's a recommendation. 25, to recommend to the city and town the institution of and assistance with the legal actions required in defense of the joint project. Okay. 26, to conduct an annual financial audit, including the hiring of consultants as needed to conduct the audit. And 27, to undertake, do, and perform such other acts as are reasonable, necessary, and proper. That's the envelope of everything
Yep.
else.
That's, between all.
It appears in everything.
And then in case we forgot anything,
Did somebody talking about there's no audit and all that during World War?
there's no written.
Do you recall there's like recently we had a conversation with some saying there's no audit, they said we have an audit, we passed. Solution. Do you recall any?
No, I
Okay.
don't understand what not keying in to that question.
All right, so we got about 14 minutes. We want to start tackling responsibilities of the water plant
going.
administrator.
Yeah.
Keep going?
I think so.
Your turn.
I'd be happy to. Responsibilities and duties of the water plant administrator, 5.1. Water plant administrator shall have substantial experience in the field of operating and administering water supply and treatment facilities. It shall be preferred, though not required, that the administrator be a professional engineer duly licensed by the state of New York. The administrator shall be hired by a resolution adopted by a majority vote of the town board and a resolution adopted by a majority vote of the city common council. Five point two, the water plant administrator may be discharged or disciplined in any of the following ways. For cause, upon resolution adopted by a majority vote of the joint board, a hearing officer shall be designated by the city and the town who will act and function pursuant to the provision of section 75 of New York State Civil Service Law. The appointing authority for purposes of this provision shall be the common council and the town board. Sitting as a whole, in action on the hearing officer's recommendation shall be a majority vote of the combined strength. With or without cause. Well, how about this? Any questions about that first paragraph?
You got consultation with Lebanon Jones firm, forget his name.
Yeah, I was gonna say Nate
Nate.
Nichols. Yeah, Nate reviewed all this with his labor and employment law expertise, so he made sure everything is, on the up and up in that regard.
Everyone's all right with
Yeah.
the sentence that starts on page 10 and ends on page 11, the appointing authority for the purposes of this provision shall be the common council and the town board.
They're appointing a hearing officer. Is that what they're appointing?
Well,
What's
okay, so it's not appointing authority, more so with a capital A.
Yeah, just to
Okay.
appoint the person.
All right, maybe we clean that up. Well,
To be the
I guess I'm the only one who read it a little bit differently then. So then there's not need to clean it up. We're not saying that common council and the town board are the appointing authority.
No, they're appointing.
Right, they are appointing the authority.
Yeah.
Okay,
I can probably, let's see, the appointing, we could just chop it out to common council.
you know what I mean? It was a little confusing.
Yeah.
clear?
So let's,
We don't want.
my recommendation,
Boards, 3 boards.
Yeah.
so we get rid of the appointing.
But we're never gonna have to go down this road.
No.
Yeah, so what
Can't
about
imagine.
the appointing authority for purposes of the provision shall be we delete that, and then we say common council and the town board sitting as a whole shall appoint the hearing officer.
Right.
And action on the hearing officer's recommendation shall be by majority vote of their combined strength. And I'm gonna get rid of there and put the common council and town board combined strength.
It's okay, the shalls, they're all right to have shall. I don't know, this is like a,
Yeah, shall means thou must do it. If
Oh.
it says may, then it's, if you feel like it, you can, but not necessary. So as it reads now, it says common council and the town board sitting as a whole shall appoint the hearing officer, and action on the hearing officer's recommendations shall be by majority vote of the common council and town board combined strength.
You know?
I didn't know. I thought it was just a fancy way and it was like Shakespearean or something. Thou shalt.
Oh, no, it's.
Shout. Yeah.
If I use that with my students, will they listen?
They shall.
You shall
You
take
shall.
your phone
Off your ear.
off.
I think that works.
Better?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's a little more clear.
All right. So that was the for cause, with or without cause. The water plant administrator may be discharged with or without cause by a majority recommended resolution of the joint water board. And succeeded by a 2/3 vote of combined total voting strength of the city common council and town board.
It's kind of a super majority
Right,
to more or less override at that point.
right.
Rather than just the basic majority that's in 5-1.
How does that work with the plant administrator being a department head for the city of Poughkeepsie?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. That's why I was gonna read into it a little bit more. It's tricky. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. Because I am the city administrator is the appointed
Yeah.
authority, right?
I can have Nate take a look at it and just see if there's any additional concerns.
Have we ever had, to the best of your knowledge, have we ever even gone down this road over the history of the plant?
Paul Little.
But I think he was tired. I don't think he. But, and I don't know, you guys would know better. That was
Nothing.
2011.
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere.
There was cause?
There was a, yeah. But I don't, like I said, I don't know if it was an official.
Right.
Yeah, I can,
Because I mean, it could, my only. My only reason for pause or concern would be if, thankfully, the town and the city get along great and all is well, but in the event that was not the case, and there could be different, involving both legislative bodies after the board, the joint board votes to take action. I guess we have no choice but to involve them as well, but it could get complicated. I could see scenarios where it could get complicated, but I don't think there's a way.
Well, couldn't you have,
Around that.
then you could, if the town board and the city board or common council couldn't come to a vote, you're saying like that, they couldn't come to a decision? Is that what, like, you're like, if they get split on both their ends?
Right.
Yeah, so section 521 basically is the for cause provision. So you bring in the third party, they make the recommendation, and then the boards approve it by simple majority. But with or without, you also can use this other mechanism, which with the other procedure, theoretically, at least, you're going to be using 522 if it's a situation
Right.
without cause.
Right.
Again, it seems very remote, but
Without a doubt, without a
An
doubt.
example of without cause. I think I understand with cause. Like you did some, you showed up, let's say you showed up inebriated to work. That would be with cause, right? Well, what's without cause?
Where Donnie said, I'm moving to Albany, and we
Yeah.
go, you should live here,
Okay.
right? That's not,
So somebody,
Yeah,
right? And the town board could say, well, keep her. I
Right.
like when she commutes. And we go, well, I think she should live in the city.
right.
And then that would be a fight.
Or a failure to adequately supervise, say, employees. Over a period of time, where it's clear that, you know, morale's terrible, that there's a lot of turnover and work, but you can't really put your finger on, okay, on this.
You can't fight, you can't
day,
create a charge.
administrator,
Incompetence could be a charge there, but it's hard to prove incompetence
so that,
charging.
okay, so that's kind of like the difference between
Right.
point source
Right,
and
and I
not
can
point
see
source.
the town and the city being at odds over it. Could easily happen, because nothing really.
Because then I also question too, like, so then what is the role of the city administrator as appointing authority over the plant in the first place?
yeah,
You know?
definitely.
We've
Yeah.
had disciplinary things in my time here and, you know, certainly it wasn't with the administrator, but it was complicated nonetheless, just based upon both the town and the city being involved, nothing major. But this, I don't know, I'm okay with it, but I could just see there being scenarios that there could be more seamless approaches.
Yeah, do you want to chew on it until next meeting?
Sure.
And then I'll talk to Nate, just kind of fill him in on the discussion and then see if we can put our heads together just to make it make more sense. I mean, maybe,
It would be like, you know, it'd be like me as city administrator going to the common council with section 75 charges for an employee or something like that. I don't do that by charter.
no, absolutely. I mean, would it help if we took out the with cause and just make it purely for without? It doesn't fix all the issues, but I think it at least adds a little clarity as far as the prior section 521.
It doesn't remove the fight with the two.
Yeah, no,
My concern isn't, and it's not about anything specific, or the things currently between the town and the city, but I mean, listen, there's a history between the town and the city with this board, from what I understand, and, you know, at times it's been a wonderful relationship, but at times it hasn't. And let's just say that there's, you know, one side of the table is in favor of one entity, in ways that the other side isn't. It could get, I could just, I guess more so than anything, and maybe Bill, you would like, where did the whole common council town board come into play here with this? It's always been a part of
The recommendation. of
Yeah.
the consultant, he builds from. You listen to him for the entire session. I'm talking about this.
Maybe it's because the labor law is,
Where
you know, convoluted as not as straightforward as you think, you know? Maybe that's why it's worded this way. I have no idea.
yeah, I'll check back.
Maybe
in
talk
with
to Nate, right?
Yeah, I'll get his thoughts
All
on it.
right.
'Cause I'm sure when I ask him, he'll have a lot of good reasons for it, and then I can just explain that.
Yeah.
Or even next time, have him jump on.
That would be helpful. Yeah, yeah.
Or you could also have two councils vote against firing somebody, but not have a
Right.
2/3 vote.
Right.
So both councils said, let's hand the person, it's not
The recommendation of the board, the
Yeah.
joint water board isn't even upheld.
Bye.
Yeah. Yeah, so you know, it's a 5-3 vote or a 5-4 vote on both sides.
Seen a lot of crazy stuff in my day. I don't think that's part of that.
Oh, yeah.
Don't
All
make
right.
any of this personal.
No, not at all, not at all.
So we'll discuss that with Nathan, and so we've got about 2 minutes to the regular meeting, and we're on to section 5.3, so we're in the regular meeting, just the workshop, so I don't know if we want to stop here for now before we.
Yeah, we can stop here, take a pause, and then we'll come back in a couple minutes. I just gotta use the bathroom, check the light for a second. And start back up at 4:30.
Sounds good to me.
So
Take a little break.
September, wow.
We don't need a motion to close, right? I think it's kind of formal. Right?
I mean, we called the meeting to order, so I don't know.
Yeah, we're doing it as a workshop with full forum.
Okay.
So we just leave it as is, right? We,
Yeah, we'll just take 2 minutes if anyone needs to, grab a drink, go to the bathroom.
there you go.
Got plenty of water.
Yeah.
Got a couple extra million gallons of capacity right now.
Now the Wapager's comes in.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. That's one. Probably not doing it.
No, probably not. They're at the end of somewhere. Yeah. He's a smart one. Oh, and I left in the car. Good plan. I don't. Into the hall. There you go. Where's this frame? Yeah.
No special session,
Have anything.
no special sessions, there's just something.
Not Chris, right now. The only one we had was mandate.
What's that? Remanded.
Other than that, city council's out until
You're,
August 18. Do you have a summer?
someone's being held without bail.
Oh.
We're doing the city council. since we do emergency.
Without bail.
You're into the meeting between, right, so in July.
Scott, I should have stayed up.
And then squeeze 2 meetings at the end of July. Right, so there's a break.
You got
So we still have the same number of meetings. Should be there.
It's grumpy because of work. You would like to leave work.
Last year.
Said you'll retire early. He goes, no. Get formed. I was like, okay, then.
Oh,
Don't.
I guess he's in a good spot.
Yeah.
Good spot for
Yeah, couldn't have anyone nicer guy.
him. You don't come back to get.
Oh, yeah. Just set, I'm working from home in there.
How are you?
Sender picking up, yeah.
He's aware. He's aware, but he's on vacation.
So you get things a little while.
Yeah.
We'll be reading about it tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
You never slept your life on. Well, didn't you say you?
Yeah,
Yeah, no, that's good. Everybody else was getting paid. Okay. You know, it's like a big minute. Make sure Noreen's all right back here.
Robot in the ring.
Yeah, it's like, I can't wait. All that time and money.
Sure enough, I was like, it's just surrender. I don't think so. Somebody followed. Yeah.
Yeah. This was good stuff.
Yeah, suck after
The sun's really bugged my eyes a few
Oh.
minutes ago. No, I have my sunglasses. I didn't want to like turn into a,
Do you want to switch seats?
no, I'm fine.
You're in his normal seat.
I know.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm happy to share. There's no assigned seating in this room.
Maybe there needs to be.
I think I saw the like.
5.215, right? That's- yeah.
Assigned seating.
Oh, you're doing an email?
Well, if everyone's good, well, I guess we'll call I guess we'll go back to order since after our little intermission.
3 widths or 4?
We start our
It's full cost.
normal meeting.
Yes. Aaron?
We're gonna.
Okay, after our IMA workshop, we're continuing on with our normal agenda.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just looping back, so it's 4:28, and we're going to public participation.
Yes, I would like to elaborate a little on some of the things that have been said here today about the relationship between the town and the city. And I've been coming to these meetings for 17 years now. I've been through a lot of town board members, city council members, joint water board members, and things have not always run smoothly. So anything you do for these agreements, you have to base it on the fact that, not what's happening right now. You have to think that things may not always go so smoothly because that has been what I've seen times in the past. So I think it's really important that you keep that in mind. And then, this isn't the bylaws portion, but when you do the bylaws, really people need to make it clear that you have to abide by things such as the open meetings law. And because right now you have some things that are at least one instance that's in conflict between the open meetings law and what the bylaws say. So that's important to keep in mind. And just one other thing, keep hearing to the reference for a workshop and for the Office of Open Government, there's really no difference between a workshop and a regular meeting. So any publicly convened meeting with a quorum is a meeting. You can call it a workshop if you want, but there is no particular distinction by using it as a workshop.
Well, we weren't sure we have a quorum all the time. We did this either. That's why it's a workshop,
Right, but that's another point I'll talk to you offline, but thank you.
but that was our reason for it. If someone couldn't make it, then we were still working on the stuff and then at 4:30 the ring meeting, so.
Okay, but I have an opinion from the Office of Open Government that says what you just described, you really shouldn't do. But I'll take that up with you later if you like.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. Any more public participation? Okay, continuing on, approval of the June 1st, 2026 minutes. Any motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Plant status report, Dot?
So overall, we had a good month of July. We had about a 2.5% increase in production since June, but a 6.8% reduction since July of 2025. So
Wow.
once again, we're still hovering around that 5% decrease from 2025. So I think that's probably about where that leak that the city
Mhm.
found was. So I think that's it. Overall operations were normal, no major issues to report. We've got our new in-lawn chloride meter installed this month to use as another tool to monitor salt front, which thankfully we've had a lot of rain, so I'm quite too worried about that at the moment. We also received a new probe. It's a portable probe that monitors chlorophyll, which algae produce, as well as phycocyanin, which is something the blue green algae produce, so that we can begin to get some baseline numbers and see if we can monitor that in case of a have event. So far, we haven't seen anything. The health department has been testing every other week in the raw water to make sure that the microsystem level, which is the actual toxin, that those blue green algae are formed. And so far, everything is non-detect. Riverkeeper is out on the river monitoring as well. They did detect some low level concentration out by the Eusopus plant. So we're just monitoring it and sure that we stay on top of it. So stay on top of it. I also just wanted to mention, because we don't get to talk about the lab that much, but the laboratory is going to be helping Riverkeeper with some projects that they're working on, which will help identify some potential effects of the tributaries that are nearby our facilities. And we'll get to do some additional testing for them to help see if we can quantify what might be coming into our plant. So we get to do that sometime later this month. And as far as in maintenance and operations, we did do they completed the PM of the medium voltage switchgear, and there were some items that need to be addressed. A small leak was noted on 2 of the transformers, so they're looking into the seals that are going to need to be replaced. And we did have a failure of our UPS over in the ozone building, so that's because of the repeated power fluctuations. So we're going to be currently pricing those out. And we haven't had as many of those shutdowns in the ozone building because the temperatures have been a little bit more mild. So, which is, well, they did make some adjustments. So far.
Thanks, Dottie. Those samples that are gonna be collected from tributaries, is Riverkeeper gonna collect all the samples and then you're gonna help them analyze it?
So what they're doing is Riverkeeper is going to be on the boats collecting samples from the tributaries, and then the water treatment facilities are going to be collecting the raw water, and we'll be analyzing those samples. Okay, the tributaries and that, and it's about 10 samples with each sampling event, and they're hoping to do 2 sampling events this year and next year, I believe it is. So a total of 40 samples. It's not much, but for us, we're going to be looking at total organic carbon, turbidities, some of the basic orthophosphate, and then they're also doing additional sampling, sending samples to other labs, looking at some things like caffeine and sucralose, some other ways that we can identify what the tributaries might be and getting
Caffeine, huh?
Yeah, so because the caffeine could be used as an indicator of wastewater. Because the treatment of wastewater for things, personal care products.
Okay.
Acetaminophen, all physical reduction treatment are not treated in the wastewater plants, so.
Are they able to test for birth control and antibiotics, stuff like that?
There's a whole suite. I'm not sure what is included in what they're looking at. The testing is pretty expensive, so I'm not sure what all of the compounds are that they're going to be looking at. I just know they were looking for caffeine and sucralose was a little too better on the cheaper side, so they might be a little bit more feasible for water plants to even monitor. Currently, there are no regulations for these personal care products on the drinking water ends. That's something that will be required to test.
We had a presentation with the months ago about the power plant, so we will push that one to the comparative strategy. Can you remind me that related to the transformer or what the unstable the power fluctuation related to the transformer or the electricity in general?
So that was more the power fluctuations is because the power coming in from Central Hudson is not necessarily stable. It drops. The other part of that problem was our transformers here were tapped at the incorrect spot. So we did retap those and to bring it more in line to the range that Central Hudson is giving us. And that seems to have made improvement. It will be a short period of time, but so far we've seen improvements in those power fluctuations. So as the power fluctuates, specifically our ozone building, because it is very sensitive.
Dottie, just completely aside, as you mentioned Central Hudson, if you could give me an address of the critical locations, we'll get everything registered in the way that it shall be moving forward.
Great. Yeah, so.
That's about right.
I tried to call them to find out some stuff for one of our things, and I still haven't got a call back from them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That was
I
years
could,
ago.
I could,
They're not too quick when it goes municipality to municipality, like, you know, we're utility to utility.
Right.
It's not very impressive. Presentation of 2027 operating budget.
Oh, well, I didn't put it on here, I'm sorry, the current plant status, as far as our budget, our operating budget, is it sent that to you? And it was, so far this year, we're at 57% of the year completed, and overall, we're looking really good as far as our operating budget. We're at total 46% at the moment. Even our maintenance and operating, our maintenance line is at 53%, which is in good shape. As usual, though, it's our utilities that are pretty high. So, I think that's probably the most. So,
Dottie, why are the office telephones so high? 7408.
So we had to upgrade our telephone systems, so that's part of the reason.
Oh, okay, so it's like new
Yeah, we should upgrade the
hardware and stuff. Okay,
Yeah, so I think that's, that I know is why we're at.
Okay.
That time.
that makes sense.
Yeah, and that was that project has been done. Last meeting, I think I talked about how our guys also ran telephone cables and lines, old ones, replace new ones, and brought phones into the ozone building.
Oh, that's right, and they did that in-house, like as much as, that's great.
So as far as the draft 2027 operating budget, it is a draft status. I am still waiting for some numbers from finance department as well. Our current IMA has a date of board approval by August 15th. The new IMA that we're working on has a board approval date of September, because I think some of the town and the city is working later on their budgets, so I'm not sure whether or not it's okay to move forward with the draft. Like I said, I don't have all the final numbers. I have to share it as it is at the moment. And go from there. I don't know if you'd like to revisit this and actually vote on it once I have more final numbers, in the September meeting.
Yeah, that'll give us time to go through it and read it, and then you only see the couple things that are left out.
Yes.
Repeat what the other, you said the board approval date was September. What was the other date?
August.
So,
August?
So in the current
Oh.
IMA, it's August 15th that the board is supposed to approve the
Okay,
2027 operating or the next year's operating budget.
The city's just starting its budget hearings. Come August, we start having our one-on-one department head meeting. So the timeline just doesn't, it's not necessarily in sync, but the city's always had the initial budget meeting start around August, right? Bill, I mean, even in their time, yeah, right.
We did not know that's.
I think Rebecca's already met with some department heads, right? So we've already started.
You're a little bit ahead. That's good for you.
We started last month. Or July, we ended June, beginning of July, they started.
Okay.
So then that way, I mean, get everything together, start getting in and start figuring it out. And so I think it goes draft out in September,
Well, October 15th.
right? And then they vote on it.
Yeah, then it-
November's vote on it.
Accepted and voted on in November.
Yeah, but you just out in September or something like that.
Yeah, I think
for-
Rebecca does her presentation in October.
We're out by October, except.
Can I just ask, how does this, so we've had people in the town and public comment ask about the AFR. And how does the date here, we're talking about August, September, is this what Minnell needs to put in her AFR?
Honestly, Bill's probably the better person.
Yes, I believe so.
Only pay FR, yeah, it's the actuals, actual operating expenses when you're 2025 should be
Actuals from, okay,
2025. Let's do, the city is April 30th.
actuals from 2025 budget.
It's due to be submitted to the state April 30th. That was all the memory. All right, Joe.
Yeah.
No, you're correct. No, you're right. You're right.
And we had our last meeting on July 22nd, and I didn't think that the city had filed yet based on our June meeting. And the city had filed, and it was brought up to us that they filed the day before, July 21st.
Okay.
So they want us to file by April 30th, but sometimes Minal was saying that she needs financials from the Joint Water Board. Our Minal Patel is our comptroller. She needs three different funds. We have the Joint Water Board, we have Tri-Muni Sewer, and we have a joint refuse
Yeah, that's the
dump.
Yeah.
So we're waiting on two of those, but and it will get better as we speed up, but I just wondered, how did this feed into it?
Yeah, that's,
Should have.
It's a 2025.
No,
Have the joint water.
you need
Yeah.
I
previous year.
think we were talking about the audited copy of the financial from 2025.
Audited fine, okay.
So that's what, I mean, like,
Okay.
I asked a meeting ago, and if we can get it earlier, and then the answer was no, we can't get it by, the reason, the town, we wanted to file the audited copy and the data, then that way it's less
done.
interaction going back and forth, otherwise.
You have to go back and revisit it.
Right, so it's more conform, I mean, it is conform when we have the audited
Okay.
numbers. She was
We
making.
have a draft audit and we're just waiting for the auditor to get
Right.
back from vacation.
So-
Okay, all right, thank you. I just didn't know if this is how it fed into it. Appreciate it. Go ahead.
Okay, so as far as the budget for next year, I just want to point out that the boxes in blue are numbers that I'm really waiting for. So those are either the same as the prior year or an estimate. And then the numbers that are highlighted in pink were items that were in the capital budget that we have to include in our operating budget because of
And that was all going through with Manal and the
so I went through.
city finance. Yeah.
Oh,
Karen. I couldn't think of the name. I'm like,
yeah, we went through, determined what can be in the capital versus what needed to always be operating. So that was that's what those numbers are.
Was the capital stuff mainly a threshold number?
So the capital stuff is mostly, we were looking at, when an item is a rebuild, it can't be put in
Okay.
capital, like
Okay.
those items are
Okay,
there, that, or if it's a length of time.
Right. okay, okay.
So that included like the SCADA system and the operating.
Yeah,
systems.
yeah.
This is a turnaround time for those items, and then we rebuild with the IPS. pumps and-
Right. Right.
There's green on the last page.
Oh,
Is that?
That's actually the revenue section.
Yeah.
Sorry, that is a little mean, and that I have to just double check the, so laboratory bills the city and the town separately for their own work, so I just have to double check. those
Oh,
numbers.
that's, okay.
And then there's numbers there that I'm getting finance. So. The energy rebate, we have no idea, so what that winds up being, we really haven't had too many curtailment requests this year compared to some other ones. Sure. Yeah, because the weather we've had a couple of really hot days as they requested them, but not as many.
If the sales in that top line on the last page, 2142, if it says unmetered sales to the city and town, if it's unmetered, how do you price it? How do you know?
I'll be honest, I'm not sure where that number comes from, and that's a
Tommy?
It's complicated.
it's not
Yeah.
necessarily numbers that city and
Each one.
town
It's a huge what?
form on how the auditors figured out,
Really?
with the pluses and minuses.
Well, you're thinking of the, reconciliation.
Right.
I'm
I'm not sure.
that's a huge number.
Yeah, I don't think that's I don't think it's unmetered like you're thinking.
Uh-huh.
I think that's the metered sales, is
I
that we're
think it's the number that, the amount that the city and the town have
actually
to
use.
contribute from their budgets.
Right.
Half of
Oh,
that is the amount the city has to contribute, half of it is the amount of that. And again, I'll go 6 years removed, I'll go from memory, but I think that's what.
That sounds about right.
so it's what we pay,
You're gonna wind up paying.
what we pay into.
Yeah, because it's income.
Okay.
It's ultimately a percentage of the budget, so there's like some numbers that Karen's gonna have to
Right.
put in to create that. We can have better clarification for you the next meeting.
That's a lot of money.
All right. Yes.
On old business dot? Old business.
Sure, we'll review and vote on this thing.
Yep. Old business. Engineering update. You got Aaron.
I'm happy to, I guess, the TSST tank is the first initial time that I haven't really engineered. And so we went out to bid. The idea originally was that it was a couple years ago, we were gonna replace the TSST tank because needs to be replaced. It does have a bunch of holes and the roof is need to be repaired. The idea was to replace it. Then when we talked about the comprehensive facility plan, we thought, okay, let's pause it and try to get as much life as we can out of the unit so that, because we may have to make some changes depending on what I'm doing. So the idea was that we were going to coat the inside and line it so that it would protect it. We would do the roof repair in-house and then simply would come in and coat the inside of the tank. We got an estimate at the end of last year. We went out to bid this year and the cost has increased by like $50,000. So we thought it was gonna be 100,000, it's now 50,000. With further discussion between our maintenance department and Aaron, we think that we could possibly just repair it again and get a few more years out of it.
Yeah, just my notes on this topic is that originally the staff who, does a lot. They had looked at it and when we met and looked at how much it would cost to coat, it was not that much more to have someone coat it. So it's like, oh, why? We could spend this time sort of patching it up or just hire a contractor who's gonna do this coating that's gonna comprehensively repair it. Then when the bids came in, it was back to, wow, that's a lot more than the budget that we had assumed to coat it. So why don't we go back to our internal repair approach, which they definitely have a competent approach to welding where they know the holes are and still will tide us over appropriately. So we get a sense of where the comprehensive facility stands. So it's by far the least costly option
So we are bringing us.
in-house,
Okay.
yeah.
This is the tank we were talking about, the replacement might cost $1 million.
It's like maybe $3 million. Yeah.
So we've gone to 3 million to 100,000, now somewhere I think like around 85,000. Just when the quote that it was so close, but now that came in close to 160.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden magic money appeared.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but
Okay, then it's give a few years, it's something.
Okay, so filter project.
yes, so because the closing was delayed, we had one more shot at the intermunicipal grant that was available through EFC. And that was submitted on behalf of the project on July 27th. So we've been told no, I think 3, maybe 4 times. So, but now that was before the filters are a really important part of addressing the HABs. So felt like worthy to submit again and, we'll see, you know, where it goes, but we do at the same point have now drawings approved by the health department. So that could help us as well. But if we had the opportunity, we should do it, so we did. The now funding, and it's all funding, I think the board's familiar just on the excessive emails that sometimes come through on this topic, that EFC closing happens at a certain time. It's not like project by project, they end up with an agenda of different projects that flows on and flows on. And for whatever reason, the schedule is now delayed, so we've been looking at end of September, beginning of October. It is now November that we're looking to closing. So we'll have a follow-up meeting on. We don't want to commit to a contractor and sign an agreement with a contractor without all the funding in place. But on the same front, we certainly can get bids and then just not, and have enough time to review and accept them. So I think we should talk about, we're ready to go to bid. We have final documents, they are approved by the health department. So maybe we should consider like getting to bid. And then if we can't award it, we can't award it, but then having the bids, so we're not in this long time period of then closing, then bidding, then, you know, for some reason, the funding doesn't come through, which how could that happen? But from a responsibility standpoint, we could get our bids in sort of very similar to when the closing would happen, and then be able to award to a contractor once the closing is happened. So I think that makes sense, and we can talk about it with the town attorney and the city's attorney, just to make sure everyone's comfortable. But unfortunately, funding closing in November is what we've been told. And I had a little follow-up email on SHPO. Oh yeah, and I don't know, obviously, Dylan, you might have an opinion on this too, but I feel like it's the individual municipalities that are paying, so I'm sure they're attorneys, but does that sound like?
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to award it if obviously if the ECF money doesn't come in, so I think that makes sense, and probably you're looking at 60 to 90 days to go through bidding, so that takes you right up to pretty much November when you would know if you're getting the money or not, so, or the grant. So I think that'd be a legitimate way to move, just to ensure you've got the package of what you're looking for, bids, if any, and if you get what you're asking for, then you just move forward a lot more quickly. Otherwise, you're probably set back 60 to 90 days. So,
But then once you the holidays too, that messes everything up.
yeah, once you hit that Thanksgiving corridor, the next 2 months are blurs.
Yeah, so you get the first few weeks of January and then you start getting your feet again.
So
Agreed, so I'll keep you, but, and get Karen Sewell to help us get that out to bid. Or get a schedule to get that out to bid so we can really coordinate this time frame. But it's, definitely what Tom's saying is really important, because if we wait till then to then go out, it's just in the holidays. So if we go out as soon as we can and then just give ourselves, you know, however many days that we need to accept or reject the bids, it should work out really well. And it's a time period for the contractors.
And now-
Looking at our project.
That's gonna say that on the paperwork when we got the bid, right? That it's gonna be certain timeframes, so like, because their pricing's only good for so long, right?
No, you specify that in the.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Specify enough.
Right, yeah, okay.
it'll say when bidding closes, when the decision will be made. Those dates are normally spelled
Okay.
out.
They might have to,
Yeah,
push it out a little bit. So we don't get another the $50,000 bump like we did with the TSST tank.
Yeah, no, we'll lock that in, that, you know, that was an informal quote, and then. This will be formal. Yeah, clearly informal, yeah, a little frustrating. So, and right around the same time frame is when usually they announce the funding for WEA-19.
so that's probably November, yeah.
Yep. The town's not relying on EFC and loan financing, though, which is no trouble to the city closing, but certainly if the IMG comes through, that grant would apply to both the city and the town, like lowering the cost for everybody, so. Well, can't hurt to try again. So. And then the kickoff meeting was held. I don't know, is that a separate agenda item?
No, that's
Okay.
next.
For the comprehensive facilities plan, and there certainly, I think everyone knows the initial phase is focusing on that flow projection and really understanding what the driving factors are for the demand at the plant and establishing the flow projections as well as assessing the current existing conditions of the plant, and that's our first phase. So they're really in a data gathering mode. I see another like request for data that just came in. So at this point.
I haven't seen anything yet.
It literally just popped in when I just went to look at the calendar, because this September is setting the next meeting date. We'll all know that September's Labor Day. So I happened to notice, the next September meeting is something you'll have to set the date for. Unless we all want to be here.
I think September 7th.
Yeah, it's Labor Day.
It is.
So late.
Yeah, so late. That's, anyway,
Okay.
I'm double checking.
just for you, because I was looking at, when's September meeting and noticed that. So then I noticed it. So,
No one thought that Labor Day's that late.
and the only other thing, like my activities at some point, beginning probably before that meeting, I've been talking about to the staff about how they need to access the raw water pump station and what kind of equipment needs to get there from the back access. So I'm gonna meet with Brian and Joe out just to understand what goes on, because he tried to explain it to me and it was unclear. But a big crane obviously can't go under the railroad. And so that's the issue. To work on any of the raw water pumps, you need a crane, and a crane can't go under the bridge. So the crane has to come from elsewhere, and we're just gonna take a look at it and then understand if there's a logical path forward with them having access to the raw water pump station at all times, and they may be. So we'll follow up with that to try to get back to you.
Yeah, it's the same area that I brought up last meeting, and there was a request for some information, so we're work on this from lots of different areas.
Right, we have a meeting scheduled with Maris this week.
Yeah, and see, that area, if not Maris, that's area.
Okay.
So, I mean, it is in the sense that part of it is Maris, part of it belongs to Vassar, part of it is, I guess that's city. So we access the low lift with those big cranes from the North Water Street area, which passes the train yard. So there's currently some work that's gonna be occurring in that area. We wanna make sure that whatever work is being done, that we still maintain access all the way down to the end of the road. That road brings you into where the boat houses are for the rowing groups, Vassar Boat House, Maris. So when those cranes come through, we have to coordinate and move 3 entities to make sure that nothing is happening. There was an instance where a tent was set up, which made it a little bit more difficult to maneuver. That's also the only way that fire engines are going to be able to get down there if there's an emergency. So having that pathway and access we need is.
Which we were all on an email for a FOIL request in the past couple of weeks, and making that perfectly clear of how that would affect the operation down here too, because originally they had everything highlighted up and down the railroad. It's like, well, where are you really working at? So we kind of got them down to a zone down there, but so they're aware of that.
Yeah.
Just if a pump goes on the weekend, that's the equipment you need. Like, you can't pull those any other way without something to lift, because they have like a really long shaft. So that's it. Like, picture your well pump that, if you have a not public drinking water. So they, even in emergency, it's not all the time a planned thing. It's like, can be an emergency thing when they need to pull one of the pumps. So it's trying to help figure out what's the plan.
So I was just gonna say, as we think about the development and increasing potential capacity here, we're going to probably have to do something with that load station, and we might want to consider making sure that we have a flatter area when those cranes do come in. If it's wet ground, they're destroying grass. And so
Is that all city property there?
I think a lot of it is.
And a lot of it is-
What if we had a survey of it, so you know exactly what the city property is?
That's not a bad
Might
idea.
have- might have-
We may have it.
It might be something
Mind asking,
maybe-
Rich?
Cause I'm sure, if it's not completely labeled out there, one can go over their boundaries very easily, thinking it's all theirs, and next thing you know, we actually have more
Yeah,
than what we, what they think we should.
yeah.
If not, it might be worth it to get a survey.
Right.
So,
Right.
I just want to mention the
yeah.
sewer task order, for the comprehensive facility plan. Time Bond will be reviewing, and assisting with with that. So I sent this email to you guys earlier today. So the amount has been budgeted for that in our budget, so. I guess just.
okay. And make a motion to, approve Ty and Bond's task order number 202502, comprehensive facility plan board support.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Oh, they're all in favor, I'm sorry.
My secretary, do I have to sign? Somebody have to sign that?
Oh, yeah, I gotta sign this one, she said, I guess.
Okay. Whatever.
Very quick, yeah, right.
We left a draft IMA review on there in case we wanted to do bigger discussion or in case there's feeling that needs to happen, but.
I'm all discussed out.
Yeah. We gotta get ahead of ourselves. So we're at basically, we gotta get ahead of ourselves a little bit, but, draft IMA review, obviously, we're continuing on that.
Thanks.
New business, engineering service contract renewal, that's done. Legal service contract renewal.
Legal's not done.
We
No.
have not done so both Time Bonds, like actual contract for board engineer and our council's contract are up for renewal, so we would need to. They each have one additional year extension available to. Just thanks, but I guess it's up to the board to.
I would recommend extending both.
Yeah. So
Second that recommendation.
make a motion to to extend both legal service contract and engineering service contract.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion passes.
What happens after 1 year? Do we just read?
RFP.
We have to go after.
You don't have to, I don't think so. We don't have, I thought we only had to go RFP if we wanted to change or we felt like we needed to change. I don't know. I could be wrong.
It's written for 3 years, or if you want to.
Yeah, because I thought that if they were content with, more content with everything was going, and they felt like they were
Oh, that's good.
Gives you an-
being treated fairly, we continue, but then it's basically, it's per term, I guess, per year. I guess it goes, right? Because you're not contracted to anything, you're not liable to anything.
No, I mean,
Really,
I'll take a look.
Yeah,
this plus, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was a contract for 1 year and then 2 additional years, and then after that.
So we would have 2 more 1-year renewals after this time next year.
This is the
Okay.
same- this-
Oh, this is,
this was the
okay,
second
okay.
year renewals. And I think part of that was, I
Somebody got
Hold
to
on.
not me.
I don't know the previous, engineer and.
We're here forever.
Yeah, that's what I was saying,
So
like,
I think
it just would-
it was, they wanted to.
When you want to get to, when you don't feel you're getting the representation you need, I think.
Right.
And I'll
So we
take a look at
Yeah,
We just read.
what's out there for it, but it's
just a
a
lot.
lot of it's a thought process because some of the, you'll see RFPs for some towns, they'll put out every single year and then they just rehire the same firm and it's just to check the box that they
Transparency.
did it. So and then
Well-
some actually do it every year. It really just
Is
depends.
that gonna be written down in the bylaws or in the contract itself?
It's
In the contract itself, because is it part of our IMA
By bylaws and then.
bylaws?
Is there anything about that in the Yeah, I don't think there is.
So the IMA is,
If there's, my recollection, just a authorization that the board can, if it
Okay.
chooses, retain counsel and an engineer.
Okay.
Doesn't specify the term.
So then the terms are specified in the contract, not in the IMA, okay, or in the bylaws. Oh, boy, 7C, Tommy.
Yeah.
And just quickly, like even if, wow. Sure, we don't want to, like, I would love to not redo it. I love that it's written because that you talk to it at some point because it's sort of. You need kind of something to motivate you to relook at things. It's like, oh, we have to do this.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's not like, oh, the weighty decision of the board, let's go out for a new person, because
Right,
sometimes it's easier when it's like, oh no, we have to do this. And that might sort of make it a less awkward conversation. So then,
Saves the awkwardness.
yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, we must do this every so often, and then that solves the, well, I sit here, you know, or my predecessor sat here. Yeah, we're not really happy with you, we're gonna go out. That you're forced to your hand.
okay, yeah.
That's not the
It's
worst
more
thing.
transparent and
Yeah, it's not the worst thing.
above board, right?
Yeah.
Before we go on to the next, topic. Before I forget, the September 7th meeting is on Labor Day, so. We schedule that.
It's the 14th on the schedule that you,
Okay,
we
so
handed out at the beginning of the year.
We changed it and just
Yeah.
changed it here.
Because I set all my calendars, right, and it's right there.
So are we good then with officially changing it to 14?
I won't be here on the 14th.
oh, Jesus. You know what? You can zoom in. That's right. It is on our thing for September 14th. Our official one is on 14th.
Okay.
It is on the
So
calendar.
that it just has to-
Yeah. Still gotta be here.
Will we have a forum?
No vacation for you.
Gonna change it.
I'll be here.
The calendar invite is the 7th.
Okay, so I will fix the calendar.
I'll be back at school, so I'll be grumpy.
Beginning of the school year. Oh, yeah.
First week of school.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Village of Wapner's request to purchase water.
So as Barbara mentioned earlier, the village officers had contacted us looking for information about if purchasing water was even possible. They're just gathering information at this point, and looking to know what kind of contract they could get, how long it would be for, and what kind of rates they would be looking at.
Can they wait till our study's done?
I didn't ask that question.
I would hate to sell something that we need to take back.
Well, we know we have capacity to sell that.
Right now.
We're not short. So that's both city and town still have capacity, and they're only looking at 500,000 gallons a day.
So a little bit, it might be a little bit more. But in the past, they're like, so yeah, 500,000 is something in their previous contract, had potential temporary usage of 750,000, but that very infrequently where they were between 500 and
It's okay.
They did mention there was a little bit of development occurring, but they didn't have a projection of how much that would increase.
and Dottie, if I'm not mistaken, their previous contract was really just for emergency usage. Was that true?
So,
Because they kept talking about their emergency
so
use for
the,
fires.
So the village was contracted for all water use prior. I can't find the initial date, but the contract ended in 2012. Part of the reason they stopped taking water was because they're concerned about water quality and the fact that we were using chloramines at that time for disinfection. They, at 2022, they say that we have a emergency use contract. I'm not able to locate an actual executed one. They came with a copy of it, but it was not executed as well. So we're looking into that.
Unexecuted.
Looked in so far, cannot track down an executed copy just for everything that we went through. I did find the draft.
Yeah.
The draft is in there, but
Stuff. So, I actually spoke with Randy today. He's helping me complete some files and, he does not recall it actually being finalized, but he thought maybe the town finalized it. Contract wasn't really with the board, at least the copy that we have, so not quite sure.
I can't imagine it would go through the town and not the joint
It
water
should
board.
go through here. I mean, they would approve it, like the city would approve it, but it would come through here at the end of the day.
It's a good thing they didn't have emergency.
No, they've used water.
They've used water.
Yeah.
That's it.
Not crazy, but when they had big fires and stuff like that, they need
Oh.
help. Yeah, got fire. Yeah. You know, it's not like not every day, or they had to work on a well, like they were in rehab a well recently. It's like, all right, just let me know you're using water,
And
you
then
know?
you just tracked how much they used and you
Yeah.
charged them?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, as long as you're tracking it, that's.
It hasn't been very much over the years. I mean, once a year, maybe something like that. Like it's not,
Yeah, and you've got a meter there and everything.
and all those meters were just redone, so. Well, it's
Scary is when you have.
But they're trying to figure out some things of what they got going on down there.
Think they're making choice, right? They're gonna make decisions
Yes.
based on the.
Based on what our amount is that we're charging and the length of time we're gonna charge them and what all that, what our fee schedule per se, what it would be.
They need to make improvements on their facility, so, they want to move forward with that. They're just looking to present all our options. Decision.
Are you able to gather all that information or?
Is that what you sent us here, Doc?
So we did send some background information with contract stuff, but I think some of this is more of an attorney-client discussion based on current negotiations for third-party contracts, past some current ironing.
So when do we have to?
So you want
Put this all
to make a motion to go into executive session?
It wouldn't be an executive session. It doesn't meet one of the exceptions,
Okay.
but under 108 of. I think it's 108 of the GML, you can go into an attorney-client meeting where it's a legal discussion on facts that your attorney is explaining. So here, I think we've got some issues that I want to talk through as far as the application of this 2022 contract and really just statutory construction of how that would operate. So I think that would be a basis for an attorney-client meeting, which you would call, you do the same as far as asking for a motion and then a formal vote to enter into the session, but it wouldn't be executive because it doesn't fit one of the criteria.
Can I make a motion to go into attorney-client meeting to discuss thanks, to discuss third-party water sales? Seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Do you want to have Aaron at this one as engineer? Because you
Yes,
can,
yes, we definitely want to have Aaron in here.
Okay.
I don't think we need anybody else for that. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Sorry,
Yeah, as far
I've
as-
never done this before, so I'm trying to think. I don't know if I said it all right. I'm
No, you
like,
said it perfect.
I'll wait for Doreen to be like, Tom, you messed up.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Yes.
That's what I was wondering.
Should
Thank you.
You decide to come back, Bill?
Yeah, I wanted to have a look.
Oh.
Okay, so this brings us to the end of our meeting for August. The next meeting will be September 14th at 3:30. I think that's it. Anybody else have anything?
No, we have,
3:30.
Right now, sorry.
wait, you have to, we have to just say what we did? No. Oh.
Yeah, it's confidential,
Attorney-client
attorney-client privilege.
So if there's no other comments and make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, everybody, see you on September 14th.
Okay, you can yell at me now.
Okay.
Back in the city.
It's me.
Chris, you like my little note on the budget?
What's the weather tomorrow's all right, Chris? What's that? The weather tomorrow's all right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
You know, I'm.
Yeah. Oh, no, hey,
It's
hey.
not, that's our you.
Oh, it's a robot. I'm sorry.
So,
Everybody back in Cleveland?
I
have.